Hey guys, Demoman here with another video. That's right, I'm back, and I just want to say apologies for my time away, but as you guys know, I was recovering, and also I've had some other stuff going on in my life that I will go into depth on in another video. But for now, we're going to talk more about the ships in this series, so picking the right ship for you. Now this playlist, or this series so far, which it's turned out to be, is set on a whole bunch of ships set within the $100 price range. That's right, this is for starter players who do not want to drop a whole ton of money on pixels. And this is for new players also that want to get involved in Star Citizen and maybe get their version of a collector edition of the game. And you might be wondering, what does that mean, collector edition? Well, what I mean by that is, when you buy a collector's edition of a game, sometimes they can be anywhere upwards from 120 bucks, or they could be $90 or whatever. With this, it is basically like that in terms of price range. It's basically set on budget, so maybe you want to enrich your Star Citizen experience just a little bit more for when you enter the universe for the first time. And this is obviously once the soft release of Star Citizen has hit and all the roles and ships are implemented. I know that's going to be a little bit of a ways away, but we'll get there eventually. Fingers crossed. So moving on, let's talk now about the first ship in this video, which is of course the Hull A. So this video, because there's so many ships for under $100 by Misc, we're going to be focusing on that manufacturer today. So all of you Misc fans, sit back, relax, and enjoy the video. So the first ship in this video is the Hull A. You might be wondering, okay, so what is a Hull A? Hull A is basically a small sort of transport variant of the larger cargo hauling ships. All these ships are designed around hauling cargo. This is the smallest one you can possibly get, and in my opinion, one of the best. So let's read what they say. The smallest, most affordable hull. The Hull A is great for those just striking out in the galaxy on their own. The Hull A is most similar to the Aurora or Mustang, but lacks the jack-of-all-trades nature. Where others trade cargo capacity for firepower or speed, the Hull A is 100% on-mission transport. Additionally, the Hull A and B are often used as station-to-orbit ferries. Now you might be wondering, what does that mean? Well, because the bigger ships that transport cargo, not all of them can land on a planet that has Earth-like gravity when fully laden with cargo. It's just simply impossible. They're way too heavy, and when they get locked in the gravitational well, they just fall and die. So when it comes to ships like this, these ships are designed for when those huge ships drop all the cargo off at the station. These ships wait at the station, take the cargo from the station down to the planet below, that sort of thing. So there's this huge ecosystem and food chain of stuff to do in this game. So this ship here is definitely for those who are dedicated to cargo. Now usually, because it's not a multi-purpose ship, this would be where I tell you don't waste your money. But the thing is, this ship is designed solely around cargo, and to be honest, I think cargo running is one of the best starter professions in Star Citizen, because there's no combat involved pretty much, and when there is, you're usually trying to run away. Then there's the other aspect, which is just the learning to control your ship and actually fly it from A to B sufficiently. This is the best way to get the hang of the controls and get them to become a second nature. Doing the same cargo run over and over again, flying from A to B, with different things happening along the way. You could potentially be dodging debris as you exit, let's say quantum travel, as you almost crash into some wreckage or something. It immediately ejects you from quantum, safety feature, because you're about to run into something. So then you have to navigate through an asteroid field or something with this bulky ship that's cumbersome and hard to control. These sort of things, landing, taking off repeatedly, doing that cycle as you trade cargo, is really what's going to help you get better at flying your ship. So this is one of the best ships for starter players, simply for the fact it'll help you learn the controls. It'll help you get to grips with what the game is about, basically, and the mechanics of flight and things like this, with a slow, bulky ship. Now it's better to start out with something slow and bulky rather than fast and responsive, because you'll have to basically really get used to each movement of the ship and stuff, and this will definitely give you that learning curve. That's the most important part. So let's go over the components here. So we've got a small radar, small computer, small power plant, 2 small coolers, 2 small shield generators, 2 small fuel intakes, 2 small fuel tanks, small quantum drive, small jump module, a small quantum fuel tank. So we got 2 retro thrusters, 1 main, and 12 fixed maneuvering thrusters. For weapons, let's see, you have 1 weapon to be determined. It hasn't been determined yet, but you have a turret which has 2 guns per mount, and they're remote, and it's size 1. So this ship is still in development, and it's got 1 missile rack apparently. So it's a whole ship that has a missile rack. That's pretty interesting. But yeah, it's definitely a unique ship, and it has my seal of approval for those guys who really just want to get into the game, learn what it's about, learn how to fly, and really get to grips with, like the mechanics of flight itself and the economy. And the great thing about this is, as you're trading, as you're running back and forth doing these trade runs, as you get better at this, at the flying thing, you're also making money, and you're learning how the stock market works. You're learning how repair works, because you're going to be fixing stuff, trading out components for new ones as stuff wears out. Basically, you're going to be learning the how the universe really works and the fundamentals of gameplay for traveling the stars. So yeah, definitely a good pick for the starter player. So the next ship in this list will be the Hull B. So the Hull B is basically everything that the Hull A has, except a little more. So the Hull B is basically a bigger version, and to be honest, definitely has more bells and whistles. Let's see what they say on it. The Hull B is a more rugged option, most often compared to Misc's own Freelancer, but where the Freelancer is equipped for long-range exploration and other roles, the Hull B is a pure cargo transport. The Hull B are often used as corporate transport ships, and is not uncommon to spot several in different liveries during a single flight. So basically what this means is, this is the FedEx truck and the the local delivery truck, you know what I mean, of the Star Citizen universe. This is a little bit bigger than the Hull A. It holds a bit more cargo and whatnot than the other one previous. Now, this ship is pretty interesting. So, as I mentioned previous, the Hull A. So, the Hull A is the starter level of trading and stuff like that. It's designed to be a cargo holder. It holds around 48 SCU of cargo. 48 is not bad, okay? So just remember, the Hull A holds 48 units of cargo. The Hull B, however, looks at that and ramps it up to 384 units of cargo. That is a huge improvement. But the thing is, as you go up in cargo, like the amount of cargo you have, the amount of money required to fill that cargo space goes up monumentally. It goes up by a huge amount. So it's worth bearing in mind that these cargo ships, you can only fill them up with how much money you have to drop on cargo, and then remember, you got to keep money for repairs, and you got to keep money for fuel and all this good stuff, because if you don't, then you're gonna run some serious trouble. So this ship isn't so bad. I mean, let's look over its stats. It's got a medium radar, medium computer, medium power plant, 2 medium coolers, 2 medium shield generators, 2 medium fuel intakes, 2 medium fuel tanks, a medium quantum drive, a medium jump module, and a medium quantum fuel tank. It has 4 retro, 2 main, and 12 fixed maneuvering thrusters. As for weapons, it's got 1 to be determined, 1 missile rack to be determined, and 2 size 2 turrets, both containing 2 guns. Now, basically, this ship is everything the Hull A has and more. Now, this ship, I can imagine, is going to be a little bit more tricky to use and have a little bit more of a learning curve to get the hang of flying. So the Hull A is definitely the better starter ship. Hull B is definitely for those players who are familiar with Star Citizen but just want to improve their gameplay experience a little bit more. They want to be dedicated into cargo. They know that that's the role they want to take. The Hull B is definitely the best ship in the price range for what you get to be able to do that specific role, but it does lack the multi-role capabilities. And for this kind of, we're going up into the price tag of basically reaching the ceiling here of the $100 range. That's a bit of a problem. The Hall A will allow you to at least have a little money left over to maybe buy something else, like a fighter or something, or another starter ship. This, however, means if you want to just spend $100, you're basically going to be getting the Hall B or pretty much on its own. And that is a little bit of a problem. But at the same time, if cargo is definitely the dedicated role for you, then definitely check this ship out. Right, so now we get into the real meat of this video. So the ships that are definitely going to be the ones I recommend to you are the Reliant series. So the Reliant series are very interesting. They have unparalleled fields of vision, really amazing views, and a kick-ass flight configuration when they change shape and stuff. It's definitely something straight up Star Wars. So we'll start at the beginning. As with any good list, you always got to start from the start and, you know, progress to the end. Otherwise, you end up with, you know, some mix-mash kind of poorly structured thing. Anyway, so the Reliant Core. With the Reliant Core, Misc adds to its already impressive lineup of ships a smaller introductory class of spacecraft. Utilizing advanced Xeon designs, the Reliant features broad, sleek wings, omnidirectional thrusters, and fully articulated two-seat cockpit that supports horizontal and vertical flight modes. All of this combines with larger carrying capacity than many ships in its class to make the Core a natural choice for short-range hauling. Or with the simple addition of few optional components, this can-do ship can do anything you dream of. What that means is this ship is very multi-role capable, and this is what you want in a starter ship. Now, the reason being is most players, when they start Citizen, will definitely want to switch their roles here and there, learn and think, okay, what is it I really want to do in this universe? And as they get to grips with that, there's a few other things that they have to learn also, like, okay, so I like what this game is about, I like this ship, I like exactly everything to do with it, but I'm not happy with this role. Maybe I want to be a trader, maybe I want to be combat, maybe I want to be an explorer, maybe I want to do science, maybe I want to just record stuff. You never know. So when it comes down to these types of roles, this ship does have you covered. There are many different variants and many different options, and the great thing is, as I mentioned, you'll be able to swap certain things around, allowing you to have some more multi-role dexterity to your ship. So for components, it's got a small radar, small computer, small power plant, 2 small coolers, 2 small shield generators, 2 small fuel intakes, 2 small fuel tanks, small quantum drive, small jump module, and a small quantum fuel tank. It also has 2 main thrusters and 16 fixed maneuvering thrusters. For weapons, you have 2 size 1 mounts, and you also have 1 size 3 mount available, and 1 utility mount. So that utility mount is the tractor beam, and that is for the basic Reliant Core. Reliant Core is an interesting ship. Now the problem for combat is it is very fragile, and it's got a lot of surface area depending on where you attack it from, and you're always going to be hitting something vital. The Reliant series is definitely a fragile series of ships. For combat it can be interesting, but its unique design in terms of flight means you're gonna definitely have some trouble, you know, outmaneuvering and staying on your target or whatever with a ship like this without being blown to pieces. This is the one major drawback of the Reliant series, is that it's quite fragile, and that does present a very real problem. So you gotta remember, this ship is more for the person who really wants to fly around and try different things, but necessarily not get into too much main focused combat with, like, let's say, more daunting adversaries. It's more for the guy who wants to fly around, really learn what the verse is about, and maybe attack the game from a different standpoint. This is more from the RPG element of the game. For someone, basically, this ship, to me, has very much got a Star Wars The Old Republic feel to it in terms of that sort of light-hearted kind of difficulty level. It's not ramped up to extreme where you're going to be fighting other players head on and blowing up repeatedly. This is more for the casual, I want to maybe dabble in a little bit of combat, start on the edge of it maybe, but really focus on learning more about carving out my own story kind of deal. And that's where this ship really sits. Because of its unique design and shape, it's definitely going to have something unique to bring to the table every single time you land on a planet. Every time you travel to a new solar system, this ship will stand out because of its unique design language. So yeah, it's a very unique ship, and I absolutely adore it. But this is one of the best ones in my opinion, because it can hold cargo, which means you can transport cargo and actually really have your own sort of story in this during like flying around the stars and stuff. It's a lot of fun. So let's move on to the next one here. Now, the next ship in this list is definitely a unique one. It is the only ship of its kind currently in Star Citizen. It is the Reliant Mako, so let's see what they say on it. The Empire depends on up-to-the-second information, which is why reporters need to be able to go where the news is happening, wherever, whenever. Enter the Mako, a flexibility and dependability of the Misc Reliant combined with the state-of-the-art image enhancement and suite and turret-mounted optics to capture every moment as it happens with the clarity and accuracy that makes headlines. That's right, you can get a news van. And you might be wondering, why the hell do I need a news van? Well, why wouldn't you? No, but seriously though, like, this is a very cool concept. I love the idea that somewhere, someone in the verse is going to be basically recording the news and flying around like, okay, and we're on the edge of the storm here. This gas giant has a, 1,000-mile wide tornado, and we're gonna now go closer to the eye of the storm. You know what I mean? That kind of thing. That's what I find amazing. It's very interesting. So for components, it's got everything the same as the one previous, except yeah, it's got the same utility mount, except this one is basically a camera. That's all that's different between this and the other ship, except this one has 0 cargo capacity. So this one's filled with like servers and recording equipment, but you need to remember that the Reliant Core is the one that has a cargo capacity. You might be wondering, okay, so how much cargo does it have? Well, it's got a cargo capacity of 4. Now, I'm not sure if that's up to date or not, but 4 units of cargo is what the Reliant Core can handle, apparently. It's a little depressing, but the Mako has all the news reporting equipment on board, and that's pretty unique. I mean, as I said, it's a unique role. It's definitely out there in terms of like the crazier roles you can go into in Star Citizen, the ones that they concepted earlier and, like, you know, towards the beginning of the game. Back when they were throwing out concepts and saying things like, yeah, news van, let's have that be a job. You know, like these really niche designs and science, because that makes sense. And you know what, it does in the grand scheme of things, but I really want to see how they implement science into Star Citizen. But then there was also other things that they threw out there back in the early days, such as learning alien kung fu and this type of stuff. So I really am looking forward to see how they develop on those promises. Now, I am really, like, I cannot wait, because I believe that they're going to make it happen in such glorious fashion that it's just going to blow anything out of the water that I could possibly imagine. Along the lines of alien kung fu, to me, is just a whole bunch of really weird maneuvers and possibly hitting someone with the back of your hand, like a slap or something really simple, just while making loads of really strange maneuvers. But yeah, the roles and stuff in Star Citizen definitely are unique to this game. There's not many games that have the opportunity and the ability for you to basically do so much in the same universe. So yeah, the Reliant news van, the Mako, is definitely a unique ship. So here we go, the Reliant Zen, the 3rd ship in the lineup of the Reliant series. So Margol and Pierce Crowshore, names that echo through history thanks to their adventure spirit, a curious nature, and reliable ship. The Reliant Zen is a versatile mobile science platform outfitted for long-range capabilities to take you further, longer, and an advanced sensor suite perfect for aspiring explorer who wants to whisper their name into the halls of history. Right, so basically this is the Explorer variant of the ship. It's got all the same components as the others previous, except it's got a different utility item. That is all this ship has different. And yeah, it's got a cargo capacity of 2, so you're cutting down the mighty cargo capacity of 4 down to 2 now. This is a research ship. It's for scanning asteroids and strange phenomena like that. But to be honest, this is the one I would recommend the least. There are so many far greater exploration ships out there, but that said, this is possibly the cheapest that has the most stuff for what you get in that role. So it's a mixed bag, definitely. I mean, make of it what you will. I mean, it's definitely unique. I mean, you can't say it's not, but at the same time, I don't know, there's something about it that just screams no, don't get this one, to me personally, because of it's just a Reliant ship. I don't know what it is. The Reliant ships are amazing if you take them away from combat, but at the same time, I do honestly feel that there is going to be exploration ships within the budget of that price range that maybe could do it a little bit better than this ship. That said, this ship definitely is the best looking exploration ship in my honest opinion. Now, if you're going for aesthetics, this is definitely the one you choose. But at the same time, I just don't know. There's something telling me to hold off of this one. And something telling me to tell you to just maybe give this one a little bit of a wide berth when it comes to exploration and stuff. But yeah, it's a cool ship. Don't get me wrong, I really love the idea of exploration, and this ship has the best cockpit to do something like that. I mean, you got like unparalleled fields of vision, and you're really right up there in a glass dome so you can see everything around you. It's possibly the best touring ship of its price range, but maybe not the best exploration ship. Anyway, I digress. So, let's move on to the next Reliant in the lineup. So, here we go. Now, this is the Reliant Tanta. Now, this is one that is more focused on shooting the hell out of whatever it comes across. So, let's see what they say here. With humanity's ever expanding through the universe, the need for a versatile lightweight fighter has expanded with it. Easy to maintain with a rugged construction, a Reliant Tanta makes it the ideal choice for frontier outpost defense thanks to the custom high-yield power plant, stronger shields, and additional weapon mounts. Now that is interesting, because this is supposed to be rugged and reliable, but as we know, Misc ships aren't exactly rugged. They are reliable, however, but not very rugged. It's got all the same components as previous, except it ditches the utility mount, takes 2 size 1 guns, and 2 size 3 weapons available. That is kind of interesting, because you do have a decent amount of firepower. That said, it's still a Reliant series of lineup of ships, which means it takes so much damage, like, you know, it can take so much damage while you're trying to avoid fire because of its odd design. You try to dodge a shot, it's either going to hit an engine or a wing, because you have got this huge letter X, you're going to be flying at your opponents. That is the core issue here. No pun intended. So, yeah, it's got a 0 cargo capacity and it's focused around combat. Now, the Reliant series of ships are not really built for combat in my opinion. They're just too fragile. Far too fragile. They are a huge flat plane, like from the side or the top, depending on where you're coming down on this ship. It just has so many vulnerable spots on it. Rather than a small, sleek fighter, which is hard to hit, you're flying this huge letter X at someone, so there's a lot more to hit. It's a little bit more intimidating maybe, but at the same time, it's far too exposed in my opinion. The Reliant series of ships are nice, they're gorgeous to look at, love the design, love the idea, but at the same time, it doesn't feel right in my honest opinion. Now, what would make up for this would be if the repairs would be honest, dirt cheap. Like, dirt cheap. We're talking Drake levels of cheap here. But I doubt that, considering the fact Reliant series, well, Misc series of ships use alien components. And this is something people keep forgetting. They use alien, like, incorporated design. So you've got, like, human components, sort of like, and then maybe alien-ish power conductors and all that type of stuff. So repairing something like this could be a nightmare, and that's something people keep overlooking. So it depends on how in-depth they go with the repair mechanic, because if it's as in-depth as they say it's going to be, then this could present a very real problem. So that's basically going to cover the Misc series of ships for this video. I hope you have, I hope I've helped you make an educated decision on which ones to choose. I definitely think the best Misc ships in the lineup right now, and in this video that you could pick up, are the Hull A, possibly the Hull B, and then the Reliant Core. those are definitely the most versatile ships in this budget range for the $100 price range. Now, you got to pick a ship that's right for you and your role. If you want to go for maybe something more of a mercenary, then you go for the Reliant Tanta. If you want to be a scientist, you go for the Zen. A news reporter, you go for the Mako. Or if you want to dabble in a little bit of everything and have a miniature Millennium Falcon, go for the Reliant Core. That is literally what this is. So basically, that's sort of like to round out and give you a rough idea of what's going on with these ships and what the budget range is. So this is within the $100 price range, guys. Don't forget that. So I hope this has helped you make an informed decision. If not, fair enough. We can have a chat about it in the comments below. I just want to apologize that I haven't been too active recently because I have some pretty heavy crap going on in the background now. And I will go into more detail about what that is. But yeah, I just want to say thank you to all of you who have supported me and kept this going. And yeah, keep coming back and talking to me in the comments and stuff. I just want to apologize for my inactivity recently because of the stuff that's going on. But yeah, you guys are amazing, and I really do honestly appreciate every bit of support you give. When you talk to me in the comments, you subscribe, you like the videos, and all that really groovy stuff, it does go a long way. Also, I'd like to say a huge shout out and a special thank you to my Patreons, the guys who do make this possible. Without them, this channel would shrivel up and die like an old prune. That's kind of like a disturbing thought, but yeah, you get the idea. But I just want to say a huge thank you to those who have supported me and continue to support me. You guys are the best, so thank you very much indeed. So yeah, we're gonna now go over the patrons, the guys who keep this going. So Andrew Burton, Bill Briant, Brandon Manuel, David Toombs, Azuman, Hilda, Samuel Pitt, Tom Talaba, and Yellow. You are all legendary. Thank you so much. So you know the drill, commanders. Fly safe, and I'll see you in the verse. If you're looking for a Bar Citizen event, why not check out Bar Citizen San Antonio, Texas? That's right, there's a Bar Citizen event for you to go to. Check out the description for all the relevant information, such as a map, a link to their Discord, and all that good stuff. And I cannot recommend it enough. It's full of the nicest individuals you could possibly hope to meet, all itching to talk about Star Citizen and sci-fi and what the hell ever. So why don't you jump on down there and say hello to some of the guys, and I hope you have a wonderful and amazing time.